right,
Woo!
you ready? We're going to be going over two key concepts in our lesson today.
Cool.
Here
First of all,
is
how did I do with the last concept, or is it something that I still need to go over again?
we're gonna you did pretty well,
Awesome.
but we're gonna refine your understanding of it a little bit
Cool.
in the two concepts we're going over today.
Okay. Okay.
So you
Let
have a
me.
link there, it's a demo board,
Yep. Got it.
and it's called Making a Base. So
Cool.
let me just make sure I'm interacting with the right thing. Here we go. So you're going to see several what I would call bases. There's corner bases for black and side bases for white, just to split them up so
Okay.
you can see the differences.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I noticed in your game is um, you're you're playing really aggressively, which is great. I love that. Keep having that fighting spirit. It's wonderful.
Oh, thanks.
But um, in any kind of martial arts you might do,
Mm-hmm.
they always tell you to stand on both feet.
Mm.
So making a base is like standing on both feet while you're fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to have the most powerful punch, you have to have your center of balance right. You have to put things together. And so making a base is very much like foot placement before throwing the punches.
Okay.
Um, so we have several bases here. I guess I could just label them all kind of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. So in A,
Mm-hmm.
Bug Kitten says not a lot of standing on your feet in MMA. There is though. There is. There are stances and there are ways like before they throw a kick, they have a position and a posture, right?
Okay.
Okay. So A is the large knight's enclosure in the upper corner.
Okay.
Um, and so basically most of these bases are going to be two space or one space apart. And there's one that's three space, uh, and it can either be low or high. But in general, when you're making a base, you're looking to just surround a portion of the
Mm-hmm.
side. Oh, that looks
Uh,
sad. Let me erase that. Okay.
uh,
That looks like a sideways sad
right
face.
there.
Yeah. But so so yeah, if you have a stone just hanging out on a side, it
Uh-huh.
really should have a friend.
Got
So
it.
that's what making a base is all about. It's kind of like stance. It's kind of like having two walls on your house, I guess. Or
Okay. Are we talking about the C14 stone or the A stone?
right, A. So
A. Okay. Okay.
in general in a corner you might start at D17 and then
Mm-hmm.
making the base is the C14 stone.
Got it. Okay.
So this particular base is in the corner is a little weak to attack. Any of the low to high ones in two space are a little more vulnerable than other ones. And I don't have a
Mm-hmm.
high to high two space, but they're generally vulnerable to attack through attaches. But we'll get into that in like a future lesson, probably how to attack these things.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, you're saying I want this part of the corner. But there are
Okay.
weaknesses in the large knights. So I just want to put that out there before you're like, I'm doing all large knights.
So
Um,
large knight is pretty much one space extra from a normal knight's move, correct?
correct. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
It's a large knights, is what we
Got
call
it.
it.
Got it.
Okay. The next base we have, how do I erase these? Oh, I just click on them. The B base is from a third line to a second line.
Okay.
And this is if you're really cramped and just need eye space and you have room to run out, you might make this kind of base, like
Okay.
if there's stones all around you. So this one's a lot less vulnerable to attack, but if this particular base gets surrounded like this, it's likely to die. And if it's surrounded on the outside,
Mm,
but it's still better than no base. I'll put it.
okay.
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 The C base, you've seen a lot of these, both on the third and fourth line. It's the knight's
Mhm.
move.
Mhm.
It's pretty strong, but if white already has a move kind of in this area, they might be able to attach on the inside. And I've
Mm.
also seen attach under just
Mm.
to reduce it.
Okay.
And so another thing, if it's again surrounded on all sides, you got to be careful that it might be a little bit vulnerable. Like if
Mm.
it's surrounded all the way around, you got to be a little careful that you have your eyes. But yeah. In the
Okay.
opening, like just making a base is enough. So
Okay.
D is literally the strongest base you can have. It's not 100% alive yet, but it is so close. It is the two space base on the third line. So if you have a stone and it's all alone and you're not sure what to do with it, make a
Mm-hmm.
two space base.
Okay.
All right. So this I wish we had like stars in this, but this is the primo A plus base. Like if in doubt and you're not sure which base to make the two space low, two space on the third line. Okay. Um, it will do enough for you. Okay, we are back to a knight's move over here, um, at letter E. It, but this one is from the fourth to the third line. It's a little bit higher, so a little, or it's on the 4-4 point. It's a little bit
Okay.
higher, so it's a little more susceptible to invasion, from this side down here
Okay.
than the 3-4 is. But both of them have similar weaknesses and similar ways of reduction. You'll also sometimes see the two space high. So instead of the E stone at R7, you might
Mm-hmm.
see you might see it at Q7, and that one's all about I'm taking influence. I don't even care about it because that's going to be invaded. You can just expect it to be invaded. Okay, it, so the to the third line is going to be a little bit stronger, and then having a fourth line two space extension is like I don't even care about the corner. So,
Okay.
but it's still a base. It's still friends in the area. It's still useful in a lot of situations. So,
Okay. Now, question, really
mm-hmm,
quick question. So I'm assuming we're still on base E. Still, we're
mm-hmm,
still talking about base E. Okay, so
yep.
I'm just making sure. Um, so every time I do play on that 4-4, I do find that they're always invading me. Is there any Joseki type of pattern where I can reclaim that bottom right hand corner, or is this like like why would we even bother playing on 4-4? Why not play on the 3-3 corner piece on R3 instead?
Because it's
If it's always gonna get invaded.
because Go is a game between the balance of
I
solid
got it.
territory and
Mhm.
influence.
Okay.
So if they invade your 3-3, they take the solid territory, but you have the influence, and influence is used for a couple things.
Mm.
Primarily for attacking.
Mm. Okay.
And then sometimes, if you're lucky, you can build something out of it. But
Got it. Okay.
influence is primarily for attacking elsewhere. And
Mhm.
that's something we might go over in a later lesson, or we'll probably touch on it in this lesson, is
Mm.
you make noise in the east to attack in the west. So if you're
Mm.
building a wall on the right-hand side of the board, you need to use that to attack on the left-hand side of the board.
Okay. Makes a
Hmm.
lot of sense. Okay.
Yep. So it still is a balanced position when they 3-3 you and you build a wall on the outside, just
Mhm.
because you're radiating influence across a large portion of the board, and you can use that to your advantage in all of the middle game fighting.
Okay.
And they're essentially sealed in. They have no potential after that, and you have
Got it.
potential to expand along the middle of the board after your
Okay.
wall. Yep.
Now just to remember the terminology you used last week, is that what we call an Aji? A potential?
N-
Kinda? Not really.
no.
Okay.
But so pot- so potential is like you see the two white stones at the bottom of the board.
Mhm.
Potential is their ability to build territory out here.
Okay.
And so, like, maybe the potential of the upper left corner goes something like this. It has potential to build this. It's not building that yet, but it has potential to.
Okay.
Make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah, Clacky, we're doing DDK lessons.
Hi, Clacky.
All right, so the next base is probably the weakest and most susceptible to attack, but it's still useful. Because often you want to induce your opponent to attack you and use
Mhm.
that to your advantage. So you can build something else more naturally. So don't get upset when they attack you. You just have to use their attack to build. So this is
Mm.
the three space extension, and it can either be low or high. um, or both stones high.
Mm.
In general, the weak points are here. These are the vital points of this shape. So Mary 3 is the one you're going to run into the most,
Mm.
and these these are similar vital points for all of the shapes, all
Mhm.
all of the heights of the stones. And
Mhm.
we'll go over this more in detail in invasion points later, like in future lessons. But I just want you to be aware that this is a base you can make, um, and it's fairly strong, but it is susceptible to attack. Ideally, if you have a stone here, um, if you have one space up, this is an ideal base for a two stone pillar.
Mm.
So when you have two stones in a row, you want a three space base. If you have three stones in a row, you want a four space base. And if you have four stones in a row, you want a five space base. So it's always plus one, okay? Is what I'm telling you. One stone in a row is two space, two stones in a row is three space, three stones in a row is four space.
And the spaces, I'm assuming it's the surrounding area in
No,
relation to that stone?
one, two, three.
Got it.
So we have a two high tall wall, and we have a
Mhm.
three space base.
Got it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's a lot of information just in general, but that gives you kind of a guideline. It only goes up to five spaces though. Don't don't think
Don't
you
go
can have
anymore?
don't think you can have a six high wall and make a seven space base or something like that. That's not gonna work as well. Um,
Darn.
it only goes up to five. All
Okay.
right, so that is the F base. The G base is a one space high, um, or you could even do it on the third line, just a one space jump. It's a lot like the Knight's move at the top in that this is the type of base you'll make when you are totally cramped and you need some fast, solid eye shape, and it is better than no base, but it's especially on the side, it's better than no base, but
Mm.
this particular shape, especially in the corner, is susceptible to all kinds of attacks in
Mm.
this area. And again, you have to be careful with the one space jump. When it gets fully surrounded, it will likely die. So
Mm.
if you see your opponent, surrounding you, um, you, you sure better do something else and make sure you're alive.
Got it.
Okay?
Okay.
Those are bases in a nutshell. And so the second part of this lesson, and I'm gonna include a demo board. This is a lesson I gave to another student quite a while ago. But it's a refinement of the opening theory we went over last week, and it's something I mentioned when you asked for comment, and
Mhm.
I just want to reiterate it here in a visual way for you to see.
Okay.
So
Awesome. Thank you so much.
here's that. It's about enclosures and extensions, and let's go ahead. Oh, I need to open this for the people.
Me too. Okay.
Okay, we're talking about enclosures and extensions.
Mhm.
So, in this theoretical game, um, let's say black is circles and white is triangles. So let's say um, circles took a large extension along the top, then triangles are going to want to make the approach. They're not going to
Mhm.
take the farther one away, they take away the enclosure. And then the triangle stones in the lower right have made an enclosure, so it is good for the circles to take the extension. So this is the pair you're looking for. So, and then if you have an enclosure and your opponent tanukis, it's really good for you to take the extension. Now, this isn't like a 100% do this all the time, because it
Mm.
depends on the game, right?
Mhm.
But um, definitely consider this as a perfect pair, is the enclosures and extensions. So here's a theoretical game, I think. And right, so black took away the enclosure and they play Joseki, right?
Mhm.
And they extend along the side.
Mhm.
And here we're talking about the direction of what the stones want. So if black took an enclosure at C, they would want to go to D. So it's still very interesting um, to play D in this position because you're assuming the enclosure in the bottom right.
Hmm.
And then in this particular game as well, um, you can kind of consider the I-17 stone as an extension. So you can potentially take the enclosure away here as well
Mm-hmm.
as white. And I'm not sure, what did we do? Oh, we just enclosed? Okay. And then black took away the extension. So this is kind of important spacing as well. Um, why do you think that black chose this particular C9 move?
To disconnect the top base from the bottom.
Correct, but why that spot in particular?
Why that spot in particular? My gut tells me that it is the easiest. I want to say to defend. It doesn't give white the ample room to surround as
Mhm.
easily,
That
potentially.
that's right, and it actually relates to the other piece of this lesson. You see
Mm,
there's two spaces on this side
mm-hmm.
and two spaces on this side.
Mm,
So either way that white blocks, you can make a two-space base.
okay.
So if white pressures here, black can make their two-space base here.
Mm.
And then if white pressures here, black can make a two-space base here.
Now, what if white tries to enclose them on the right side? So pressure's on the right side. We can't really extend black towards the edge, can we?
Do you mean like capping? Like over the top here?
Yeah, yeah.
So then you can make either base you want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought we would have to go in the direction that they're attacking from.
No, no, no. You make a base.
Okay,
So you are planting your pillars down into the edge of the board.
got it. Okay,
So your base always relates to those two pillars there.
okay,
So if they cap you, then plant another pillar down.
got it.
hmm
Interesting. Hmm. Well, now what if they attach to me? So say that they instead of playing a capping move, say that they move on C10. Would we still plant a two spaces away onto C6?
No. So this is where we think of other bases that'll keep us strong.
Okay.
So this is going to be the strongest base for us here, is just a one
Mm,
space,
okay.
because if we make our two space base, then they can clamp and cause us all kinds of trouble.
Okay.
Whereas if we make our one space base, if they try and clamp, then we're sitting pretty, right?
Mm,
And we're just alive pretty much.
got it. Okay. I think that's one of my biggest issues because whenever, the opponents are attacking me, I just panic and I have no idea what to do. So I
Yeah.
I do, I do whatever.
So yeah, the spacing matters. The tighter the
Mhm.
spacing, the stronger your connection is.
Mhm.
But then you give up something in return, right? It can potentially be less efficient.
Mm.
Um, Also in this, oh, where is the attachment? Down here? Yep. There's also a proverb that says Hane at the attach, so this is also playable.
Mm.
So if they back up, then you can make your two space base.
Mm.
Because now if they attach on the inside, you just Hane under, and it's kind of like the other variation.
Okay.
hmm Helpful concepts? This is for 14Q, Bug Kitten. He's a fairly new player.
Still brand new.
Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, those are the two main concepts. So we are gonna start diving into reviewing your games from the week. I think we
Cool.
have 3 games to review.
Yeah, the last one was a very interesting one. But yes,
Oh,
3 games.
there were a couple of shocking, surprising. Do you want to start with the win, or do you want to end with the win? I guess I should
That
ask that.
that's up to you, my friend. That is up to you. Whatever way you want to organize the lesson, that's you.
All
So
right, let's go from most painful to least painful.
let's do it.
Sound good?
Demolish me. I can't wait.
Well, no, I mean the game itself was painful, right? Um,
It was a fun painful. It was fun. I actually one of the most painful games was that last one I sent you, and
Review
there is a story
started.
behind that. There is a story behind that, but is there a link that you're going to send me?
yeah, I am about to send
Yeah,
it to you right now.
awesome.
We're gonna end on a high note like George Costanza. We're gonna end on the win.
So the story behind this game. So I just want to give people the background is that I actually woke up really early and I couldn't fall back to sleep, and I was like, you know what, let me just play some Go. But while I was playing, I was still somewhat groggy from waking up. So I probably should have played Go, but I wanted to see how well I would have done if I
Hmm.
was kind of like not at my full potential, and hence why I wanted to try that. It was more
Yeah,
of a self realization type of game. So yeah.
totally good. Totally good.
Hmm, hmm,
Oh, Jungbang, yeah, it is follower only for the LED Goban. So just give a quick follow and it should work for you after that. Sometimes it's buggy, but okay, let's start from the start. And your tasks were to learn one Joseki, to do
hmm,
some Tsumego, and then also to focus on your opening. So
hmm,
especially the concepts we went over last week.
hmm,
And we were black in this game.
hmm.
So far so good. Yep, this is good. Uh this is fine. Now this Joseki we went over last week. So let's see how you did. Oop,
Did I
you
do a
gotta
boo boo there?
yeah, it goes
Ah,
this way.
darn it. Okay.
And then a couple of things can happen. Either white extends this way and you extend one more,
Hmm.
or white honeys, you honey, connect, and tiger's mouth.
Got it. Okay.
Okay? So that was a little Joseki mistake. It led to some not too many problems.
Mm.
Uh so this is a good example of a good place where we could make a base now. We have a 3 space high wall, so we can make a 1, 2, 3, 4 space base.
Mm.
Or we can even go farther because we can count the other 2 stones as part of the wall and make a 5 space base as well.
Hmm.
Oh, Bug Kitten, I think the old 3-3 Joseki is still useful, and since he's a beginner just starting out, and white played it that way, then I think learning the simpler Joseki to start is very good. All right. Um, do you know about how far from a wall you can go? Yeah, we just went over that, Kilton Ninja.
Yeah, I haven't reviewed it because
Earlier
I
in the
just learned
lesson.
it.
Yep.
I just
Yeah, he
learned it.
just learned it. Okay, so
Thanks, Nightmare.
learn the simple Josekis first. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to teach you another very simple Joseki in the top left. White did
Hmm.
a high approach. You did Tanuki, and I think Tanuki is fine. Um, but we're gonna attach under.
Hmm.
White Elhane. We draw back.
Mm.
White connects. We do a little jump to make our corner bigger. And white has a 2 high wall, so they do a 3 space extension. So that's the simplest form of this Joseki.
A quick question. I know I
Mm-hmm.
ask a lot of questions, but quick question. For us more newer players and somewhat still in the double digits, do you generally see this type of Joseki pattern, or is this more so that the behavior is like, okay, I'll definitely play at number 6 as I get to more of a more experienced professional type of
This
player?
Joseki is in 90% of my games at 2 to 3 done. So
Okay. Okay.
so if you want to keep it simple, this is a nice simple Joseki that everyone
Hmm.
knows, and it's six moves.
Hmm.
So it's pretty easy to learn, and it's pretty useful.
Okay.
Yeah, but the attach under it for the high approach is very common, very very common. There are some
Okay.
variations, of course there are variations, right?
Mm-hmm.
So white can technically Tanuki and play elsewhere at this point if they don't really care about being cut.
Mm-hmm.
White can also play a Tiger's Mouth instead, in which case black has a few options. They can Knights move, they can large Knights, or this. But honestly, the strongest one is just the one space jump.
Okay.
White's going to extend quite a bit farther, but they have weaknesses. So this is why this isn't played so much anymore. They have weaknesses here and here.
Mm.
And elsewhere, depending on what's surrounding it. But yeah. Yep, yep, yep.
Really? Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yep.
You guys are using all these terminologies. I have no idea what they mean. What the heck is a tie shot?
Yeah, don't confuse my student. He's a beginner. We
No,
even
I
I don't
love
know
it.
what
I love it.
I don't even know what a taisha
I
is.
love
So
it. I love it.
so you kicked
I,
uh, s- so you kicked and they knights moved and you followed your opponent around a little bit. So this is
mm-hmm.
another instance where we can consider making a larger base instead.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just a Joseki knowledge thing. So we're gonna move on. Oh, okay. I'm gonna put triangles on this shape because this shape is called an empty triangle, and it's bad. Don't
Mm,
do this.
got it.
And it's the empty point is here. That's why
Mm,
it's called empty because there's no stone there. There's no white stone there. I should be specific.
mm.
Mm-hmm. And okay, so this is another kind of key concept. Unless you absolutely have to in the opening, don't play on the second or first line.
Got it.
Okay. Sorry, I'm throwing a lot of information at you.
It's
Okay.
okay. It's recorded, so I can always go back and watch it.
So now White did this very strange approach.
Mm,
Again, just make a base. And this is why we covered making a base today, because you had many opportunities to make bases and you didn't take them.
mm.
And it led to problems,
Big problems.
as
I
we will
got
see
demolished in
here.
this game. I loved it.
Uh-huh. So yeah, you died.
Yeah. I figured that right when I played the B2 move. I was like, oh shoot, I shouldn't have played here.
I think I think it might have been interesting so if you really wanted to pick an unreasonable fight, I might cut here and then cut here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because no matter which way White Atari is the second stone, you escape.
Oh. Huh.
Yep.
I did not know that.
Yep. So you missed an opportunity to escape just because White's shape is bad. They have lots of cut points, but that's
Mm-hmm.
fighting experience,
Mm-hmm.
and don't even worry about it yet. This is a little bit far. Um,
Yeah, I
so
didn't know where to nuke out. I was like, okay, I'm screwed here. I didn't know what else to do, so I figured, you know what? Let's try to get closer to the left side and try to expand my influence from the H line all the way to the right side of the board. Hence why
mhm.
I moved in a weird spot. At least that was my thought process. Maybe I think I played on J, but
S-
J3, I think.
so let's pretend this is an actual solid wall that's
Mhm.
four spaces high.
Mhm.
Um, so then in that case, equally with making an extension of the same,
Mhm.
making a base for yourself, you don't want to approach that except for 5 spaces away.
Mm. Hmm.
So here is more reasonable.
Hmm.
hmm hmm
Okay, I'll be sure to remember that.
You have to imagine there's like an invisible force field from this wall extending a certain number of spaces.
Mm.
Yep. But that's okay. They got their chance to protect their weaknesses, and we should connect these with a base.
Okay.
Hmm.
Seki?
No, bottom left is not Seki. It is going to be bent 4, which
Mm,
is dead.
mm.
But that's in the future for you, Indy. Like we're covering openings and bases. Don't let our high Q low dawn players muddy the waters too much. We're doing one concept at a time as we come to them and as we're ready. So just don't even worry about them.
I'll just catalog it in the back of my brain just to pull out for later
Not even
in the
worth it at this
future.
point. Not even worth it.
It's big brain time. Come on. All right.
Okay. Um. Yep. Okay. So that's you're already connected here. You don't have to worry about this cut.
Mm,
So you can play elsewhere. And we're going to get to where the fighting starts, and then we're probably going to stop the review. Just because
mhm.
our last lesson was on the opening, and I really want you to focus on your opening
Okay.
before the fighting first. So we need to get that sorted, and then we're gonna move on to killer tactics. Okay, and that's a fairly deep invasion, but you got to do something. And I think from here, it's all fighting and reading skill.
Mhm.
So it's not worth reviewing yet.
No worries.
Prob
Yeah,
Probably
I
next week. Next week
okay.
we're gonna go over strong shapes.
Mhm.
Um, and you use those shapes in your fighting a lot, so we're gonna go over that next week.
Okay.
Let's get through another review.
Okay.
All right, this is the second most painful game. I think this was the most shocking game, actually, in my opinion. Let me post a link for you.
Yeah, I like this game. I really like this game.
It was pretty shocking. It was amazing.
It was a very fun game. I really really enjoyed this game, and I hope everyone does too.
Okay, so we are black in this game.
Mhm.
We took dual 4/4s. That's great. We made an approach right away. Perfect. Oh, uh-huh. This is just missing Joseki knowledge. So let's when we get
Darn it.
kicked, we stand up. Someone kicks you,
Okay.
okay, so you're sitting at the table
Mhm.
and someone kicks you under the table. You might stand up. So think of it that way.
Got
When
it.
you get kicked, stand up.
All right.
They're gonna
I
back
I I
off.
I I couldn't remember that. That's why I was like, I know we have to extend. I just didn't know which way.
Yep.
Mhm.
Uh yeah, you stand up and be like, you want to take this outside? No. So, and then after we stand up, we have a 2 high wall. So we're going to take that 3 space extension that we talked about
Mhm.
and play here. Or, if we're feeling spicy, just depending on the board position, we might play it high. But
Mhm.
there's more weaknesses in the high than the low. So this keeps it simpler for you.
Mhm.
Okay. We drop down. So and then we tanukied. So you have 2 stones all alone. You got to make a base.
Mhm.
So it's important. This is why we're covering the base. Yep.
Okay.
It's good that you took a point, but it's also important to make your stones secure. So this is fine. You ended up making a base, and then your opponent took an extension. So
Mhm.
did we take the enclosure? No, we didn't. So
Mm-mm.
remember, an enclosure and an extension are a pair. So if your opponent takes the extension, take their enclosure away.
Mm. Okay.
Yep, it's a live lesson, Stephen Lin. Okay. And then you might expect various things. You might expect white to attach, something like, if they're playing really simple, they'll finish it off and then you can take your extension or your base there.
Mhm.
That's the most basic form of this Joseki in my opinion. Okay. But we still took a very valuable point. White has a wall. You're making sure you're splitting the two groups, and that's okay in concept. But white gets a little too much from this.
Mm.
Okay, so this is another case where we should just make a base right away.
Mm-hmm.
And then, white might even protect here after that. And then we can 3/3 after that.
Mm.
Okay?
So at what point do we ever so when would be the right move to do a 3-3 invasion? Because I see you played 1, 2, and then 3. So why was that the better move? Why not go elsewhere and fortify or shrink the whites J16 territorial space? Like instead of playing at 3-3, we play at like M17 or something like that.
That's a great question, and it's all because of how loose white is playing.
Mm,
So they took not an enclosure and an extension, but an extension and an extension. And we call
mm,
that a double wing. So there's a
mm.
proverb that says 3/3 the double wing.
Okay.
So since white took a double wing, we made a base for ourselves first,
Mm-hmm.
just to make sure that, we can cope with whatever comes our way later. And then if white Tanuki, he might play two, or we might have to solve a Joseki later, if they don't play two. But then at the first opportunity that we have Sente, we should absolutely take that base. Or
Mm,
take the
okay.
3/3 for the double wing. Yep, yep.
Okay.
I do like that your instinct was to reduce this, and we're going to touch on this more when we talk about invasion points. But the
Mm,
vital point for this 3/3 is actually, oop, excuse me, not 3/3. The vital point for this three space extension exists here in the middle line,
mm,
or this kind of triangle shape. And the point of the triangle is always at the third line.
okay.
Yep. Again, a lot of information and that you might not be ready for yet. Lots of fighting spirit here. I do appreciate that. Turning is fine. This is okay. What did we do next? Okay. This one's hard to maybe read out. So what you're doing with a move like one is you're attacking both the A group and B group. It's Miai, it's either or. Either you get one or the other.
Mm,
Um, so if white goes to save these, then you have these. And then if white goes to save these, then you have these
mm.
to surround. So be on the lookout for that kind of move. But all in all, I do appreciate the fighting spirit. I like that you're trying some dangerous, risky stuff. It's very fun. Very fun. Yeah, you played out the ladder. That's okay.
I saw that too late, and I was like, "Oh crap." Hmm.
Uh-huh. This was actually very exciting. I think you had a chance here.
I did. This was where he asked for several undos. So
Okay.
in this spot, I actually captured that whole bottom group. The where he just played, I actually captured that whole entire piece, and he realized that a little too late, and then he asked for an undo during that time. So I allowed it, and I was okay. Let's see what happens if I didn't capture this piece. So it was like I said, I believe this was the turning point for me. So yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, the game turned around several times later on.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
so in this kind of situation, and I know we're gonna go over more fighting at a later time, but definitely be on the lookout for who has how many liberties.
Hmm.
So white has 4,
Hmm.
you have 3.
Hmm.
So since 3 is less than 4, we have to find a way to extend our liberties, right? And this
Hmm.
is the point in the game where you just gotta be like, I need more than 4 liberties. Let's get more than 4 liberties.
Hmm.
At which point, white is screwed. So, um, yeah, let's say they take that, and they could even take this. Then we need one more move before we enclose them fully. How many liberties does our other group have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 liberties over here too, so we're fine there.
Mm-hmm.
So, no matter what white does now, and this might not be the most efficient, but definitely be thinking about this is just make sure you have more liberties than your opponent when you're in a capture race and you're golden. So
Mm-hmm.
just stop and be like, how many liberties do they have? How many liberties do I have? And go from there.
Mm.
Yep, yep. So what did we play? Oh, you took away their liberty without extending yours. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. And that's how this turned out this way. And it turned into a ko.
Yeah.
So
I was so bummed at this point. I was like, God
yeah,
damn it.
you shouldn't
Yeah.
be though.
Oh.
So you gotta start the ko proper, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now they're gonna take, and now it's a ko fight.
Yep.
You don't have anything that's big enough, to be honest, but I think that might be better than what happened in the game, because at the very least you have 2 eyes for this group in the top left.
Mm-hmm.
But again, this is the fighting that just takes a lot of experience, which you simply don't have yet, and that's okay.
Mm.
What happened here? Oh, right, okay. So one thing we consider, I might try invading here, but I know I'm going to be hard pressed to make anything happen.
Mm-hmm.
And the most you're going to get in here is maybe 2 to 5 points. So this is definitely a point in the game where you can consider, since you have an extension over here, taking an enclosure.
Mm.
Because that's worth 15 points instead. And as it turned out, we died, right?
Yep.
Yep. Anyway, that's just fighting experience. No big. Oh, we did live here. Okay, perfect.
So at this point, I had two options. So right here at this point in the game, I remember thinking to myself right after he took that entire black bottom group,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, I could resign because I feel like I'm 31 stones behind or 20 something stones behind. And he has a 6.5 additional points. I was like, oh crap. I essentially lost this game already. But I was like, you know what? Let's just play to the end. Let's see how much I can come back
Uh-huh.
with this, and let's try out different strategies. If I decided to play in this region, can I experiment? So I already came into the mentality that this was a losing game. I just wanted to experiment some more. So just to give you more of what's going on in my thought process while I was playing in
Well,
this stage.
let's actually count the game. Are you sure this is a losing game?
Well, in terms of stones, and in terms of my experience right now, the territories I have is actually pretty big. I have the whole bottom right plus the right side of the board. So I know that I
Maybe.
have
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
territory, but if he tries to invade and if I panic, then chances are I will panic and I will screw up somehow. So I was
Okay.
taking that into account during that time. So yeah.
Fair enough. So
Hmm.
the difference in the two players right now is that white has definite solid points and you don't
Hmm.
have definite solid points, but you have a lot of
Hmm.
potential points, right?
Hmm.
So it's not entirely hopeless yet. Right
Oh,
now,
very good to breathe. Thanks. Hmm.
white has 31 pairs in captures, but that's all they have. All of
Hmm.
all of their points are in captures, and 20. You have 30 pairs on the right side. If you can surround the entire right side,
Hmm.
you have an equal amount of points that white has.
Mm.
So this is not a hopeless game.
Mm.
And you proved it because several points later in the game, the AI says you were winning by
Hmm.
like 10 to 20 points.
Hmm.
You lost it, but that's okay.
Hmm.
But just because things look just because you lose a big group and things don't look that great for you
Hmm.
doesn't mean the game is over and you know it's worth throwing caution to the wind. I would
Mm.
consider still making your enclosure here. What you
Mm.
did in the game did work. So interestingly enough, and it was
Yeah, I
pretty
have no
amazing
idea
to
how it
see.
worked. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what your opponent did, but I remember looking at this and being like, how did this work? Um,
Mhm.
some DDK magic. It was amazing.
It was
Um,
yeah.
it was DDK magic all the way.
Mhm.
Yep. And now at this point, AI says you're winning,
Mhm.
if I recall.
Mhm. I think I had, like, a 77% chance of winning at that point,
Hmm.
so
And you just kill this entire thing, which is fantastic. Yep.
plot armor.
Oh. Okay. If you are not an Atari, don't capture.
Mm,
And you're not an Atari, so don't capture.
okay.
So your move is turn
Mm,
and kill more. Kill more. Take
mm.
time to kill more. There's no need to it feels good to capture. I know it feels good to capture. I love capturing stones. It's my favorite thing, okay? Literally my favorite thing in the world. I love it so much. And so you have to always tell yourself, if I don't need, like, just pretend inside yourself, I'm like, I captured the stones. They're off the board. And I feel really good about that. And then play somewhere else.
Okay, okay.
All right. So yeah, turning at one is going to be really big because you can kill more, right?
Mhm.
Okay, I still think turning is going to be your biggest move. Because it's hard to see how they live. But let's see what happens here. Oh, that's sad. Yeah, they should have
Yep,
died.
yep.
Oh well. Um, let's connect our stones. Yeah.
Okay.
So now the white stone is dead, probably, instead of us being dead. Yep. Oh no, you lived it anyway. Okay, cool.
Yeah, because at that
Forgot
moment, I
about that.
knew we were at a capture race right there, so
Uh-huh.
mhm.
Okay, this is all right. Interesting. Oh, yeah, that is Sente. Oh no, it's fine-ish.
Okay, what's Sente again?
Sente is a forcing move.
Okay.
So it's a move that you really should respond to, but this worked out for you
Okay,
still.
okay.
We are going over the fighting in this game just because this game was so fascinating. What do we do here? Oh, okay.
I did
So
that to disconnect his bottom from the top.
that is a great idea, but if his top connects to his bottom, he's still dead. So
Oh.
just keep yours connected,
Mhm,
which is more important
mhm.
when they start pulling this kind of shenanigan. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep, that's why that was important. Okay.
Mm,
No big deal. This is just, again, it's that fighting experience that you gain over time.
mhm.
And yeah, you gain over lots of time. Okay, yep. Oof. Oh no, Oh, right, okay. They blundered here, I think. No, they can't push down. Oh, that was nice for you. Lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at this point, white has won. No, they haven't. Oh, we missed something else. in this game, gotta play here
Why there?
because it takes away the
Oh,
eye.
it takes no, that's why I played on P2 because I saw that was like a Sumego problem, and they say, "Oh, take P2, then they're dead." And
Yeah, P2 is great,
yeah,
and you had to follow it up.
I forgot to follow it up.
So the sequence will go like this, and then you
And then
throw
you
in
play back at
again.
1. Yeah.
Uh-huh. If they drop,
Wait, so okay.
it ain't no thing.
Mm,
We have to take this first.
mm.
But yeah, they're dead now. So, yep, you would have
Wait,
won.
what if White played at P2? Wouldn't he just capture me and then he has 2 eyes at that point? Question mark? No, the top chain is dead. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, I got it.
so
I
again, the
got it.
sequence is we play up at 1.
Uh-huh.
White can't play P2 at that point, right?
Uh-huh,
Um,
uh-huh. He
so they
captures me.
take, and then we push that.
Uh-huh.
We throw in again. Um,
Okay.
because when White's little dragon gets Atari, they have to connect, and they only have one eye.
Yep.
Hmm.
I just
So
saw that.
that was our last
Oh, I'm
opportunity in
so
that game.
close.
You were
Oh,
so
I'm
close.
so close. I
Yeah,
think I
it was
lost
great.
by 10 points?
It was
10,
like,
12 points?
yeah, this game was fascinating. It was
Yeah.
only a 10-point game. And again, like, if you looked at this from that point where you were feeling hopeless and were like, oh, I don't,
Mhm.
IDGAF, right? Let's just throw some stones on the board.
It
Uh,
wasn't a DGAF moment. It was actually more so, okay, you know what? I'm gonna pretend I have a 30 stone handicap. Let's experiment around, try to make a comeback. And I was like, "You're
I
not
love
gonna
it.
take me. You're not
It's
taking me. I'm
great.
gonna keep taking you." Okay.
Perfect. That's the right attitude.
I'm choking now. All right. Sorry.
A bunch of whiny people in chat will try to tell you that you should just resign. Don't listen to them. They're fools.
No,
Fools,
this
I
is
tell you.
experience, guys.
Exactly.
I gotta experiment with a losing game.
Review started.
Resign.
All right,
Anyways.
let's go on to the third game, which is a
Mhm.
game you won. So
Yeah.
this is great.
Well, I think
Um,
because we were at the same level too. So same ranking.
we got to end on a high note, though. That's the best way to
Mm,
do it.
mm.
Mm-hmm. All right,
I'm not paying for resignation. No,
you're
I'm
not
not.
exactly. I mean, if you feel like you're just grinding on something that'll never like yeah, if you get to a point where like there's no bamboozles, there's no opportunity left on the board, then absolutely resign. Or if you just want to move on to the next game, that's fine too. But be
Mhm.
tenacious. It's not a bad thing. All right, black. We are white this game. All right, so you took a couple corners. We made an approach after the extension. That's great. And then we took away the big points. So this again, let's reiterate. We make bases.
Mm, mm.
And I didn't make that. I guess I didn't make that clear in my last lesson.
I thought I
So
was making a base by doing that. I just didn't know it was to make a base you need 2 stones. I thought I was just
yeah,
marking territory. Hey, this is where my center of operation is at this one point and it's gonna expand out.
yeah. A base is a very
Mhm.
big move, as Paragirl said.
Mhm, mhm.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, so that's why that's why we have lessons. That's why we go over concepts. So perfect. The kick is fine. Oh, you made. Here, I'm gonna put triangles on it again so you remember. This is the empty triangle. Don't do it.
Okay.
Friends don't let friends make empty triangles unless it's absolutely necessary. There are exceptions to this rule, and it's empty
Mm,
because there's no black stone where the circle is. Okay.
okay.
Yep.
This is a
So
bad empty triangle.
correct, right?
But I'm empty inside. I wanted an empty triangle. Okay, enough joking. Okay, keep going.
So yeah, this is a great point. You could play this way perhaps. I'm not
Mhm.
necessarily a fan of the kick in this position. Um, I might I might pillar if I really want to make a strong shape, or I might just make a base on the side here.
Mm,
Okay.
okay.
But this is double-digit Q, and we are experimenting, so it's all good. Yep, and then we took the big point. This again, to reiterate our enclosures and extensions. Taking an enclosure is going to work a little bit better with your extension instead of taking 2 extensions.
Okay.
But it's still a big point on the board. It's still playable. We're not quite done with the opening yet, so there's no need to invade. So you're probably worried about all this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is when we use a skill we just learned today, and we look at where we can take 2 spaces from a reasonable move. So there's 2 spaces here. Ooh. Let's take those off, actually. There's 2 spaces here, and there's 2 spaces here. So if I were going to invade this, I might pick this spot. I know it looks a little weird, but this is just to ensure no matter which way you go.
Interesting.
If they enclose, then we can make a base here, or we can even slide 2 spaces and just crawl on the bottom. This isn't perfect, this isn't perfect spacing. You do have options once you play in here, but you'd be really worried about the pincer here, and this is a little bit harder to live than going a little bit farther out. So the idea is you ultimately want a stone here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you pick a point that's 2 spaces away.
Got it.
And has another direction to go. Okay?
Okay.
Bug Kitten says they might enter R9. Yeah, that's playable, for sure. That's playable. I agree. And it's kind of the same. You have 2 spaces either direction. But again, we started the fighting a little bit early in this game. It worked out for you, so it's hard to be like, oh, you shouldn't have done that because you won the game, right? But
no, if I recall correctly, this player used a lot of tiger's mouth type of moves that really threw me off. So
yeah, it's a good shape. It is a good shape. So the fighting started a little early, but you know what? That's okay. And you found some really great Tsuji in here. I was like, that's my student. He's been doing his Tsumego. Good job.
Yep.
You're extending your liberties in a straight line. That's fantastic. And yep, we just did that. That was fun. Your opponent totally missed it. Fantastic. I was like, oh, great job. Ladder works for you. So this is bad for your opponent as well. This is a great Tsuji, and you were so excited about it. And so you played it right away, right? You're like, oh, I found this. This is great.
Yep.
So good for finding it. And let's kill the whole thing. Why kill a little when you could kill the whole thing?
I didn't know it was gonna be the whole thing. I still didn't see it even right when you showed us. Like, wait, where's the shape? Oh, got it.
So they might live. They might live. They might be able to live. But this also makes a base for you along this edge, which is useful. And you can always take those stones whenever you want, right? Yep. But great find on the snapback. Did we end up killing the whole thing? We didn't. Oh, this move. You're not in Atari, so there's no need to connect. So again, let's kill the whole thing. So don't connect stuff that's already connected, of course.
Okay.
That
one I had to connect because I was in Atari.
Nope. It's 1 stone. So what are they gonna do? They're gonna take, and now we can kill the whole thing again.
Sacrifice 1 stone to take the whole thing. Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
And so the other nice thing about that, if you gave it the 1 stone and counter Atari'd and they took, then you could even play simply like this and you save the 1 stone that's all by itself.
Mm.
The if you wanted to be, extra peaceful and not kill the whole thing, then you save your 017 stone this way. So it's a
Okay.
dual purpose. Yeah, 1 stone ain't no thing. 1 stone is just worth 2 points at the most.
But
So
that's our soldier's life. Okay.
I know your grandmother gave you those stones. You don't want to let them go. I get
Yeah.
it. I get it. But this was brilliant too. I like that you killed this. Oh,
Should I have extended up?
turned.
Yeah.
So you're worried about this maybe? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you do have to worry about this.
Yeah, because the 3/4 stones was getting surrounded. Yeah.
No, we do this and they connect and then we do this, right? Oh no, that doesn't work because they can cut. Okay, you did the right thing. Yeah, it's good. It's fine.
Yeah, my idea was just to enclose that 5-stone group.
Perfect. You nailed it.
So that was my mindset going in.
This is a common shape. You
I
gotta
hate that
connect
shape. Yeah.
or
I
connect this
didn't
way.
connect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we tanuki'd, they took the stone. No, they blocked first. Okay, that's fair. So we're still in a position here where if you want to invade that area, it is still wise to play in this area.
Mm.
Because you got to give yourself 1 or 2 options, okay? So
Mm-hmm.
the options I'm looking at is you can peep here in Sante. You can, extend 2 spaces. You can extend a different 2 spaces. You have this cut here. And then you also have this peep here. So all of
Mm-hmm.
those together give you options to make eye shape.
Mm-hmm.
So you just, if you want to invade deep in someone's territory, you got to give yourself lots of alternatives. Whereas the attachment there doesn't give you a lot of alternatives.
Mm-hmm.
So if I were black, I would probably just Hane. Maybe this is what happened in the game. And it's over. And then black gets stronger. You get nothing. And yeah, the game continues.
Mm.
So this clamp is good too. It's okay. Yeah, black just gets super strong here. Did we connect something that was already connected? We did. Okay. So these stones are already connected. No matter how black tries to cut it, they're connected. So we don't need to connect them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Do, 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 do. That's fine. What did we do? Oh.
I thought that was the Joseki move.
Mm-mm.
Mm.
So, I mean, black's not playing it perfect either. I would just Tiger's Mouth here. Because you need to connect those stones together. And
Mm.
again, you're looking at surrounding all of this. That's not small potatoes.
Mm-mm. I was
Dropping...
just trying to remember what was the pattern. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay.
Yep.
Mm.
So they're
Mhm.
already enclosed, so let's... And I know people in chat are going to laugh at me. Let's fix our cutting points. And this fixes both of your cutting points.
Mm.
Yep. So,
You
black's
too? Okay.
going to try and live there. I mean,
Mhm.
maybe if we're really interested in killing this, maybe we should do that first and then connect.
Mm.
So that's probably the most... Yeah. That's probably the most severe to play
Mhm.
at 1. But yeah, that's kind of the idea. Oh, well that's... What? Don't capture stones unless you have to. Kill this. Kill
I'm
it.
realizing it. I'm realizing that. Oh,
Kill
okay.
it. Kill it with
Okay.
fire.
Okay. No, the reason why I took those 2 stones because I already doubled Atari them and I didn't want to lose my fish on the line. I wanted to capture and get at least one of those big fishes on the line. That's why I did
Oh, I know. So they come out here,
that.
and then here you're worried about that Atari, right? Okay,
Yes.
so let's play this out. Let's say they come out.
Mm,
We do that. They do that. They do that. And this is one of your Tsuji.
mm,
It's fine. It's fine.
mm,
Ain't nothing to worry about.
mm. I wasn't reading ahead.
It's
I gotta
okay.
do homework.
Yeah, you do. You gotta more Tsumego. See
More
me after
Sumego.
class.
Got it. All right. I will do that.
Yep.
I've been doing about 20 minutes a night, so.
Oh wow, that's a lot. That's more than I assigned. So great
Well,
job.
I have fun with puzzles. I like puzzles.
Oh, you're a tryhard. All right.
Mm, sorry.
No, it's good. Oh shoot. Oh, this is sad. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm sad about this. We still win,
Mm-hmm.
but oh, I'm really sad about this.
I was trying to capture that whole entire group right
You
there.
did, right? We captured it, right?
I think in the end afterwards, but it took a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah. What? Yeah, Black's not playing reasonably. I mean, they got away with something, but not for long. Okay, that makes sense. Sure. Yep. Yeah, great. We killed it all. Good job.
Mm-hmm.
Nice win. Nice win. But yeah, so your homework for this week then is going to be playing 3 or 4 more games, of course.
Okay.
And then learning an additional. Which Joseki did you learn this last week?
The corner move one. I don't know what it's called.
Like, how does it start?
It starts on the was it the opponent plays on the 4-4, and then you go next to it, somewhere close to it, and then they extend again,
This one,
something like that. Yeah.
the low one,
Mm-hmm.
and then where does Black play?
Black plays at what is it? R5, I think.
The kick. Okay.
Yep.
And what do you play?
Well, now I know don't go towards the edge, go up. So we would play at Q6.
Okay.
Yep.
And then where does your opponent play?
Now, I would assume that they would play at Q5, but that's the empty triangle, so they wouldn't play at Q5 anymore. They would most likely. What happened?
What do you mean? What happened?
Oh, the whole board just went back. What happened?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's odd.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see it now?
There we go. Yep.
Okay.
So it would be, I want to say S6, but I don't know.
Nope.
Where would they? Ah, okay.
They make the
03.
knight's move. Yep.
Okay.
And then where does White play?
Q5? No, that's another that's not an empty triangle.
You have a 2-high wall. So what kind of
Extend and make a base. So we would play at R, I want to say 10, R9, R10, somewhere around
R10?
there.
You have a
R10.
2-high
Okay.
wall, so you make a 3
3
space
space
extension.
extension. Got it. Okay.
Okay. And
I gotta
that's
practice
the
with
end
that
of it.
more.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So I find when learning Joseki, it's best to tell myself a little story
Mm.
about what the stones are doing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't memorize move coordinates or anything like that.
Mm.
But I do, the way I tell the story to myself, and you can tell whatever story works for you,
Mm-hmm.
is I play a 4-4, or
Mm-hmm.
my opponent, somebody plays a 4-4, and then I approach,
Mm-hmm.
my opponent kicks me, so I stand up.
Mm-hmm.
My opponent encloses the corner. This is the story I would tell, or just makes a knight's move.
Mm-hmm.
So I make my base, and that's the end of this Joseki.
Got it.
So it's a little easier to say what they're doing and remember what they're doing than it is to be like, oh, they played Q4 and I played R6 and they played,
Mm-hmm.
O3 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, telling yourself a story is going to make it a lot easier.
Okay.
Okay. That's our lesson for the day. Do you have any additional questions?
Yes, I have one last question, just
Yeah.
one. So I know that playing against AI is not a good thing for beginners,
Mm-hmm.
but could we still play against AI if we really wanted to just try out some crazy moves and see what the AI calculates? Because I do see that when you're
Mm-hmm.
analyzing your game, we are looking at an AI uh, feedback. So I was wondering, would playing against an AI be good?
Whatever you find is fun, do that.
Okay.
So if you have
Okay.
fun playing in AI, that's fine. I'd
Hmm.
prefer for the games we review in our lessons to be against real human beings,
Got it. Okay.
um, because they make calculation misjudgments. You're going to see a lot more variation in what they play versus what
Hmm.
the AI plays. Also, I think playing real people is more fun because I have
Hmm.
a snowball's chance in heck of winning. Uh,
Hmm.
so if I have a chance to win, it's more fun for me.
Hmm.
Uh, Different people are different, so different people enjoy playing AIs. I don't. I don't enjoy playing the AI very much. Sometimes
Mm.
for like the AI on my phone, I use it as kind of a pat on the back, like, oh, I never beat the one Don AI before, and now I have. So I get a good pat on the back from that. Great job, Daniel. But
Mhm.
yeah, I would not play the AI solely, but it's okay for a review, and if it's fun for you, why not? Just do it.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well,
Yeah,
thank you so much for the lesson today.
yeah, you're very
I
welcome.
learned a lot. I learned a lot. So,
Yeah, I hope so. Awesome.
mhm.
All right. Take care. Have a good rest of your stream if you're still
All right.
streaming.
All right. I'm probably going to stream just a little bit longer. All right. Thanks,
Right on.
guys. Thank
Yep,
you again,
laters.
Daniel. See ya.
All right, and if you guys are interested in lessons with me, if you're double digit Q, um, I only give double digit Q lessons. Once you're single digit Q, I pass you along to somebody else, like Cornell. But if you're double digit Q and you're interested in lessons with me, what we do is just like what you saw. I review 3 of your games before the lesson. I come up with a specific concept that would improve your game, and then I work with you on that concept, and then we review your game so I can highlight that concept throughout the games. And then I assign you some pretty minimal homework that I try to fit it into your lifestyle as best as I can. And, that's kind of a collaboration between us. Yes, I charge $10 for a 1 hour lesson. So it's actually pretty reasonable from what I've seen out there. Basically, since, I've only had a few students and I've only been teaching for maybe a year and a half or 2 years, I feel that that's an appropriate charge for my level of experience. And so far, my students have really enjoyed their lessons. I've had one student who just skyrocketed from like 16Q to 3Q in a matter of like 6 months or something. And yeah, I I really enjoy seeing people grow and learn. So that's something I get a big kick out of. So yeah, you can see the simplybook.me link that I posted up there. Just hit it up, and I think the schedule is up to date. But if you pick something that I can't fit into my schedule, then we'll be flexible and we'll work around that. And of course, most of the lessons are off stream. Indy and I have been collaborating and hanging out on Minecraft for Bruckcraft on Monday nights. So I thought he was talking about he was interested in learning more about Go and finding a strong player to teach him. So I thought this was a good collab since he's also a streamer. But definitely, I am not comfortable putting most of my students in front of chat. And I don't think, most of my students would be comfortable with that either. So it's definitely kind of a private process. You join a small community on my Discord called Doggo Sensei Dojo, and you can learn and commiserate together. So yeah, chat can be brutal. They can be a little brutal. But you know what? I'm kind of used to it. Ruthless and savage. All right, everybody. It's been a real pleasure hanging out with you. See you in the next one. Take care.